Good morning, kids. I already made a video earlier tonight talking about movies, but I just got kept up till 10 after 4 in the morning by Dune Part 2. Uh, that's it's a good sign, right? I mean, it's really, really good. Uh, it's really, really good. It has flaws. Uh, barely. It barely has flaws. There's a there's a lot to like it in this movie. A couple things worth mentioning. I complain a lot now movies are not real movies. I'm usually talking about the larger goals and ways and means of filmmaking and storytelling. That there's something inherently post-classicist in the current state of the cinema, uh, and it's true on sort of the micro level too. Decisions about editing, cinematography, acting. Hello, hello, Zoe. Would you like to introduce yourself to the folks at home? Yeah. Go on, just walk right up to it. It's hello, little friend. So, this is my friend Zoe, who's when you see one of my cat friends in these movie review videos, it's always Zoe. She's somehow figured out that if she comes between me and the phone while it's recording a video, she has my full attention. Um, I think there's a couple of things that are really interesting about Dune Part Two. Well, right. This movie does hit some of the notes that recent movies do that make them, in some classicist sense, not movies. It's part of a larger narrative. That being said, they put a good deal of subtle, careful work into the details that allow Dune Part Two to stand alone as much as the central part of a trilogy could. Um, in terms of style and form, it's uh, it's neoclassical. It's not going to date quickly or badly, and it is a movie that could have been made 40 years ago. In terms of the way it's put together, they didn't do anything that could not have been done 30, 40 years ago. The line items would have expensed out different for sure. Probably would have been a lot more expensive. Um, the the way that it is sophisticated, cerebral science fiction pitched entirely at adults and demanding on that level that it requires you pay attention to it as science fiction um, in the prose literature requires at its very best is it's not unique, but that this is a standout mainstream hit earning and deserving of sequels because that's how much money it made. That's pretty. I mean, you want to talk about real science fiction movies, adult science fiction movies that are as complex in terms of the writing as this movie. It's a short list. And some of the smartest science fiction movies are carefully arranged so that the storytelling is simple, clean lines. Uh, in spite of being as adult and intent as it is, 2001, Blade Runner come to mind. Movies that are complicated like this, in terms of storytelling, and Akira, Minority Report, Zardoz, there's a few other movies. There's not enough. This kind of leap forward should have been happening on a pretty wide scale across the genre a long time ago. The successive movies like 2001 and Planet of the Apes set it up so that we could start having movies like this. And it's the whole machine has been dragging its ass about catching up with where the audience is as far as this kind of science fiction goes, and it's really exciting to see this kind of thing pitched on this level. Um, I mean, there's a lot to say that's good about it, and everybody else has already said a lot of it, I'm sure. It's just impeccable on technical grounds. It's beautifully designed. Um, it ends up feeling a little slow and long, maybe 20 minutes too long, felt like. I think mostly that's because I don't think the two leads are very good, actually. I think that's the one major weak element. It's like Hayden Christensen in those Star Wars movies. Except they're both that weak. The guy playing Paul Muad'Dib, the girl playing Chani, they're just not. They're neither of them very exciting. I don't think they're either of them very well cast. I think they're accurately cast for their skill set, and they've got about as much chemistry between them as a glass of salt water. That is to say, not much. Um, yes, yes, Zoe. Um, I would make a joke about Zoe disagreeing with me about the acting in the two leads in Dune 2, but that's just low hanging fruit, cute cat jokes. You're looking at me. Can't you at least? No. So that was really fun. Yeah, I mean, the only things that you're gonna have to get in my lab at least. The only things I didn't like about it are the two leads and I guess how careful it is. It it isn't. There's just nothing sloppy about the movie. There's only a few moments that ring falsely. Uh, it is so carefully and cleverly constructed, and the level of baroque detailing and on every level, the design, the storytelling, even the acting is really advanced, really thoughtful, really careful. I feel like I'm half asleep already. I don't want to stop this video because then I just got to move on to another movie that's not going to be anywhere near as rewarding. Most likely, there's very few movies lately are as good as Dune Part Two, and it's also really nice to just sort of be in agreement with everyone else, which is also an indicator that as a work, as art, it's hitting on the highest level. You you can tell something's really good when people who don't generally agree on what's really good agree, and this one's really good. I highly recommend it. Really uncomfortable to say that. It's just not something I do normally.